Welcome to Zedia Network's football gambling show. We got a packed guest list today. I'm your host, Andrew Zoldan. Joining us, Jack Parodi from Ducks on the Pond, and then also legendary Chicago sports radio personality, Mike Moore, currently hosts the Odds Couple, so you know he's all about it when it comes to gambling. Mike, Jack, welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here with you guys, man. And I know we got mutual friends, and you have a relative named Jesse Rogers, and he's your stepfather. I think I was his stepfather for a while there. So we had a lot of good time, and I'm looking forward to it. I did my first handicap show back in 1989 on a small station on 1240 WSBC, and I never believed that it would take this long to have legalized gambling to begin with. But here it is. So let's get rolling, baby.
Exactly. We won't waste any time. We'll kick it off. I'll kind of direct it where to go. So this is what we got in store for everyone today. We got 2 NFL picks, 2 college football picks, triple threat NFL parlay, and that's where you make your money. And then we got a money line upset parlay that you have to take. So, Mike, we'll let you – this is your first time on the show. We'll let you kind of see how this works. Jack, why don't you start us off with your first NFL pick?
All right. First NFL pick. Some of you might know I'm a big Niners fan, born and raised in the Bay Area. I'm a big fan of the bounce-back games for good teams. And what better way to bounce back from a loss than playing the Jets? I think -7 is far too low of a line. I know the Niners got some injuries in the receiving core and whatnot. Just signed Mohamed Sanu. I'm feeling good about it. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. He's not going to get another close game or a loss on his record right there to go 0-2 or anything like that. So I think -7, 49ers that's my favorite pick of the entire week. I love the bounce back game for the Niners.
Oh, the bounce back game, Jack. You got it. And you know what? They're playing, I think, in New York too, right?
They are, yeah. That's why it's lower, I think.
Yeah, I think that's why it's lower than it is. So it's a good pick.
Mike, what do you have for NFL pick number 1?
All right, NFL pick number 1, guys. I looked over the board because I was under tremendous pressure to come up with some picks from you guys. I mean, we don't even have all the information left yet because it's only this is going to be on Friday, right? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going with the Chicago Bears minus the 5.5 points. I think what happened last week was their struggle game. It was their bad game. Trubisky goes plus 145 quarterback rating in the fourth quarter. I think there'll be a more balanced game, but they overcame their bad game. So I think now they're comfortable in New York. I had them Monday night. They're absolutely dreadful. They had a 19-play drive. It cost them when he threw the interception. I just think New York on the short week is reeling a little bit. I'll take the Bears minus the 5.5.
Mike, do you think you're betting a little bit with your heart instead of your head? Your beloved Bears, and you're mad at the Giants.
Yes, I'm betting with my heart. No, what I do is I do a system, and it's been successful for me, and the Bears came up. Now, I got other games too, but I don't mind taking the Bears because I had the Bears last week. I thought it was dead. They were, and they came up last week. I go, they're getting 3 against Detroit, and then they looked so bad. This was one of the games where they came back and won, and it was, I think, an outstanding game, but they've only played one good quarter of football. I expect them to have a more cohesive game. They got their feet settled. I think you'll hear more from Mac, and you'll hear more from Hicks.
I like it. You heard it there. Take the Bears this weekend. I'm fast forwarding all the way to Monday night for my first NFL game.
Woo!
Full steam ahead to Monday night. Last week, the Saints in a win. Everyone said, the Saints don't look good. Drew Brees' arm looks weak. Michael Thomas is hurt. I expect the line to move even more, and that's why you hammer the Saints. The Saints come out, and they blow the Raiders out of the water on Monday Night Football.
Wow.
Minus 5.5. That should be minus 10. I'm telling you, the Saints win this game. Emmanuel Sanders puts up Mike Thomas numbers. I'm a Mike Thomas guy. But if Emmanuel Sanders has a good game this week, you're going to see the Michael Thomas haters coming out saying he's a system wide receiver. I'm betting on that. Saints minus 5.5 is my first game for this week.
I love that pick.
Yeah, good pick.
That's one of those, growing up, near, Raiders fans and everything. they'll always either like they'll start the year like decent, and the Raiders like, all right, like we're good, we got this, and then they have some disappointing game and they get blown out by like 30 or 20. This is going to be that one.
Mike, you've been in the industry a little longer than us. If all three of us like it, that could only mean one thing.
You're going down. You're going into the building. You got the plane. You're going to steer it into the mountain. We're driving the hearse together. We're waving goodbye to everybody as the car's going over the cliff. But you know what? Every so often, if all three like it, it ends up going well. Hey, it's not going to be an easy game. You could just tell by the spread. But they're going to Vegas. They're playing in that stadium. You know what? I don't know if Vegas, they struggled against Carolina and Matt Rule. So they only beat them by, 4? So it's not like, you're stepping out. I mean, either one of these. Look, it's the National Football League. There's 3-4 upsets every single week. We know that. So, you know what? Just like there's 7 new playoff teams every year. There's things that just happen in the National Football League. But I do like the pick. Would I bet it myself? No. I'd lean that way, but I wouldn't bet it.
Well, what's your second bet?
You want me to go ahead of my guy?
Second
I want him to do it.
All you. I'm mixing it up.
All right.
Keeping you on your toes.
I like when you mix it up. I'm an older guy. I got to keep track, I looked over the board. There's a lot of great games this week, by the way. And last week was a public week, which of evidence of you winning 2 games, just to be honest with you. I'm teasing. Leave it alone. You're going to come back big this week, too. I like Kansas City. Minus the 8.5 against the LA Chargers at LA. They don't have Phillip Rivers anymore, but he's still doing the same old act in Indianapolis. He throws an interception, whether you want one or not. I just happen to think that Kansas City, they played a tough game last week, but Mahomes is just too damn good. I mean, you know what? Talk about a quarterback that you could hold down for maybe 2 quarters. But, I mean, the pressure is on every team. They're afraid if they don't move the chains, he's going to take the ball and score. That's how intimidating he is. He's almost – I saw Brady win the MVPs in Montana, and Lamar Jackson's a favorite. But this guy's almost like Tiger. You know what I mean? Where the opposition is actually like the coaches are going, we got to keep the drives going. We can't, we got to try to run the ball to get the clock moving. We can't give Mahomes time to – that's how good this guy is. He's a bona fide superstar. I'll take Kansas City minus the 8.5.
I like that, Jack. I'll go and I'll let you finish out football after. My second pick, last week we saw the Falcons lose but put up points. We saw the Cowboys lose, not really put up points. All right, Cowboys are not starting this season 0-2. All right, but they're not. Their defense is not ready. Van Der Esch is out. All right,
Big loss.
I'm going the over in the Falcons-Cowboys game. It's 52.5. All right, I'm going over.
That's a big over.
I think this is a shootout. I think Julio gets in the end zone multiple times. Zeke multiple times. Amari Cooper has a breakout game. CeeDee Lamb's running all over the place. I would not be surprised if this game hits 65 total points. I'm going.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Now, we just met. We're buddies. I think we went to Jesse's wedding. I was there. You were there. We said hi to each other in passing. But I got to be honest with you. I like the under in this game. I really do. And I'm not doing that to be contrarian to you. I charted the game. When you think of Rams, you think of Dallas. You think of points. You think of a lot of points. So it's not my pick. But once again, I would not bet it. I just like the other way.
I just think if you're the Cowboys, you're going to the drawing board. And if you're the Falcons, all you can really hope for is outscoring the Cowboys. So I think
Let me ask you a question. You're a Dallas Cowboy fan, aren't you?
No.
You're sure?
No.
Because you accused me of being mad at the Giants, but I'm just telling you, I wasn't mad at the Giants. I was perturbed. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That Dak Prescott, I would not trade for Mitch Trubisky, period. I'd rather of us. I think if you gave Mitch Trubisky that offensive line, like he's got, Dak Prescott's got receivers, Zeke Elliott, that big offensive line, and they come up with what? Gots every single year. So I don't trust the Cowboys. I really don't. And that's why I'm hesitant to bet them a lot. I just don't trust them. I hear they're going to be good, and every year they're like 8-8.
Yep. I bet a lot of money on them on Sunday night, and that would just let me down like crazy.
So did I.
Yeah.
I want them to redeem themselves. That's why I'm doing it. The redeem game.
You know what? When guys say in the locker room, we're going to redeem ourselves, one of the players should go, yeah, but there's a team on the other side that doesn't want us to redeem ourselves. You know? It's a crazy business. But, yeah, the Cowboys are broke. They break your heart, man. And Dak Prescott, I would never invest $30 million in that guy. You know? No way.
Jack, bring us home. Second NFL pick.
Land the plane, Jack.
All right. Well, you said you wouldn't invest $30 million in Dak Prescott. I'll invest a little bit in him this week. I got Cowboys -4.5. It's one of those bounce back games. I'm addicted to the bounce back game. I'm addicted to it. But I really do think they're a much more complete team than Atlanta. The Falcons are just like that team that everyone remember. They're like, oh, they're starting 10 out of 11. Their offensive starters are first-round picks. Well, they're all bums except Julio at this point.
Right.
Calvin Ridley he's a good player too. But I think it's one of those, the Cowboys, you know, they had all that hype coming into the year. They had a very disappointing game last year. I think they bounced back. They win by a touchdown. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think that they win by at least 7-10 points.
Yeah, Matty Ice. I mean, you know, sooner or later you got to lose the name. He's a good quarterback, but if you can't keep calling a guy Matty Ice, that doesn't have ice water in his veins at the end of games and doesn't play in championship games. At some point, you have to lose the ice name unless you become bona fide and win something.
Yep.
Seriously.
The only ice he has is on his arms and legs after the game.
And in his drink.
Yeah, in his drink. All right.
I mean, he is Irish.
Moving on to college football. I'm going to start this one off.
Okay.
Jack, you remember this. Mike, you don't know this, but last week I said if there's one game you're going to take this week, it's Army.
Are you doing this?
That's what I said. And Army rolled. As I predicted, Jack and I both made money off that. He tailed me on that. This week, if you're going to take anyone this week, it's take UCF -7.5 against Georgia Tech. My reasoning, Josh Heupel doesn't play defense. He plays offense, but they won't need defense to beat Georgia Tech. A Georgia Tech team that only scored 16 points this week, barely beat fraud SU, which is Florida State University, for those who don't know. Florida State has been frauds for about 4 years since Jameis left, however long as that's been. UCF -7.5. I think this covers in the first half and never looks back.
Isn't this the first year Georgia Tech's not doing the triple option too for like the last time in forever?
Yeah. And State was a first-year coach. You're supposed to lose your first game as a
who was the coach who was the out of shape guy that would coach Georgia Tech? He used to coach Army.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I forget. I don't know the players. I don't know the coaches. But he's a first-year coach at Georgia Tech, right?
Yeah.
He just took over for the guy, so I forget his name.
They got all these dudes that were made to play in the triple option, and now all of a sudden they have to play in a completely different offense where you're actually passing the ball. Like that is not a recipe for success.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the Georgia Tech game, I like the pick, and I'll tell you why. Everybody's going to see about what they did against Florida State. And all I heard last week is, Florida State's got a new coach. Florida State's going to move the football. Florida State's got a new attitude. No, Florida State sucked. They got upset. And I think people are thinking, okay, Georgia Tech caught it by surprise, new system. But I think that this game is on the right side when you go against Georgia Tech. I'm with you.
Well, what's your first college football pick?
My first one is Miami versus Louisville. It's a night game, okay? I think that the inclination is to take Louisville. I really do. But I like what they're doing out there at Miami. I like their coach.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I like their coach. I think Louisville is a public team. People like to bet it. Miami used to be a public team back when Jimmy Johnson was there, back when they were rolling Testaverde and all those guys, but that was a long time ago. I think people overhype, like you guys said, Florida State, and I think Miami is underhyped, but they got a good coach. I think they win this game. I think they covered it probably might be the 3 by the time they go. I think it's at 2.5 right now.
Jack, are you taking that game also? Is that why you said you were with him?
He didn't say he was with because he don't like it.
Hey, we'll get to that later in the underdog set. I actually, fuck it, I'll say it right now. That's my underdog pick, money line
That's my guy.
plus 120. De'Aaron King is the real fucking deal. He's an insane quarterback. He's probably the best dual threat quarterback in the country besides Justin Fields right now. I mean, he transferred to Miami from Houston. He was amazing there. He went last week. I'm just going to put some numbers out here for you. Passing 15 for 23, 141 yards, a touchdown. Rushing 12 rushes for 83 yards and a touchdown. No picks, no turnovers. I think he's going to roll. I think he's going to be a Heisman contender at the end of the year for sure.
There you go.
I think that they win this game outright by a decent amount too.
Agree.
So what I'm hearing from the two of you is points, ACC, Louisville, Miami. And that's why I'm going bold with my second college football pick. Over 60.
Well, we're getting 2.5 points.
Over 64. No, I'm going over 64.5 for my second college football pick in the Louisville-Miami game. Over 64.5. This is going to be a crazy game that gets close to the over in the first half. That's how much scoring there's going to be in this game. Potentially 45-ish points in the first half. This over, you're stress-free by the end of the third quarter, early fourth, and you're getting ready to take the NFL games. Over 64.5 is my second college football pick.
Beautiful.
I love it. We got a lot of money on that game. Let's go, boys.
Jack, number two? Or number one? Give us both of yours, 1 and 2.
Well, all right. Well, that was my underdog. So you guys can hit those later. But my first one, I got Cincy laying 33.5 against Austin Peay. Cincy's the real deal. Luke Fickell's an awesome coach. He's been doing some really, really good stuff there the last couple of years. He wants to be in Cincy, too, from what you saw this last offseason, passing up all those big Power 5 jobs and everything. I think they can go undefeated this year. I really do in the American. They're a dark horse, like college football playoff candidate. I mean, it's hard to get in it as an American team, but I don't think they're going to lose a game. The only loss was last year to Ohio State, and then just a loaded Memphis team. They kept a lot of talent. Luke Fickell's an amazing coach. I really do believe in him. And Austin Peay, like a FCS school, who the fuck is Austin Peay? Let's lay the 33.5.
I wouldn't go if I was a scholarship. They offered me, I wouldn't go because of the name. I don't like the name.
It's a weird name.
Austin
It's a weird name.
Yeah. I don't like James Madison. No, I don't want to go to any of those. If you go to those schools, you're not good enough to be at the elite schools. And remember what you're betting when you're betting guys from Austin Peay.
Exactly.
Guys that wanted to play at big schools, but you know they're playing at still Division I, I believe it is. But they're never out. They're like Slippery Rock, William and Mary. They're never on the board, you know.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Since he's going to beat the piss out of him, I think.
Yeah. They're going to beat the Austin Peay out of them.
That's right.
That was bad.
That was a bad joke. It would have been better if they were Austin Piss, but they're Austin Peay. Jack, pick number 2.
All right, pick number 2. We got Navy at Tulane. I'm going under 48.5 for that one. Navy, as we know, is a run-heavy triple option team. They're just I fucking love the triple option. It's so fun to watch. But just like tick, tick, tick. They're going to take a ton of time off the clock the entire time. Their offense stinks. They only put up 3 points against BYU a couple weeks ago. They literally can't score. They were awful last year too. Tulane as well. They put up 27. It was against South Alabama last week. I don't know. I just think the clock's gonna be running all game long. They both have run-heavy offenses. I just don't see Navy scoring more than like 10, 14 points. I don't think Tulane's going to score that much either, especially with all that time ticking off the clock with the triple option. I'm really just betting on this one because I think Navy stinks. They're both two running teams. So
yeah. And Navy's they lost a lot of guys, including their terrific Heisman Trophy candidate from last year. So
yeah, their quarterback was good.
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, I think he was going to try out as a running back or something, but I haven't heard anything about him.
Mike, who you got for your second
college? Well, last week I did well in college football. I did lousy in the pros. I did have Georgia Tech last week. I did have Syracuse. I went against Syracuse last week. I'm trying to remember who they played now. Just drew a blank. But North Carolina. I had North Carolina, and I said, you know what? Syracuse, that coach there, he had 1 year. And I don't know. I heard they did okay in recruiting. They didn't do well. They're playing Pitt this week, the Pitt Panthers. Don't ask me who's on the team. The last time I knew a player on Pitt was Tony Dorsett. The last time I knew a coach, it was Dave Wannstedt. Okay? I go by a system here. Minus 21, Pitt seems to be the play. I know there's a rivalry there, but I just think Syracuse, guys, is bad. They're a bad football team, and they showed it last week, and I think they'll show it again this week. I think that they had their 1 year. It'll take them a couple of years to rejuvenate their program. It's not like it used to be at Syracuse where you had Jim Brown, Ernie Nevers, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little. You had recruits every single year playing for that school. Don't ask me how. It was in Syracuse, and they played every single year. So I like Pitt.
Jim Brown's not walking through that door.
Man, Donovan McNabb ain't walking through that door. Floyd Little ain't walking through that door. Hell, Jim Boeheim ain't walking through that door.
All right, I like it. Jack, you gave us your money line upset pick, which was Miami. Mike, who you got your money line upset pick of the week?
Well, I have a baseball game tonight, but I know it doesn't do any good. So don't tell me what the Tigers score is yet. I put it in. Okay? But in the NFL, my upset pick of the week, it could be an NFL game, right?
Correct.
Okay. I looked over the board, and I'm checking it out. And the thing that makes me nervous is there's 2 9-point underdogs that are clear that they can cover. But I get nervous when you get above the touchdown thing. It sort of tells you they suck. Can they hang in? Are they going to win will they lose by 8? Will they lose by 5? But I like Denver. Plus 7.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh should have lost that game against the New York Giants, or at least it was a closer game than it should have been. I thought Ben did okay, but he just said today that he felt like he was in a car accident because he hadn't played in a long time. You don't want to hear a quarterback you're betting on say that he felt like he was in a car accident. So I'm going to take the Denver Broncos, and Vic Fazio may know how to use his timeouts by this time next week.
I like that. I like that pick. To win or just to cover?
Well, does it have to win, or can it just cover?
Well, for fun, we like to say the money line upset pick of the week.
Oh, I'm sorry, the money line upset. Okay, let me find one right here.
We just got an extra pick out of you for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This is what you pay for at the Zedia Network.
Who's Indianapolis playing?
Oh, they're playing Minnesota.
And they're favored.
Minnesota plus 142.
I'm going to look here real quick here.
You want me to go in the meantime while you search?
Yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll go with have your upset in a minute. You know
All right.
what? I'm going to go with it right now. I'm taking Houston over the Ravens.
Ooh. Wow. That's a good payout.
I'm getting Houston over the Ravens. Now, I don't know what the money line play is, but if they're getting 7, so the money line, it's an upset. J.J. Watt and the boys pull it off. Houston plus the 7. Watson has a good ball game.
It's hard to bet against Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I loved them. I wanted the Bears to take him.
Yeah.
And when they took Trubisky, I was so aggravated, and I knew Watson won 42 games in his career. He won national champ. You beat Alabama, you got to pick the guy. But that being said, now I'm defending Mitch. So, against the horde of media that wants him replaced, after the first quarter, the nonsense last week. They wanted him replaced after the first quarter. A guy that has thrown 49 touchdowns, 29 interceptions, 8,500 yards, 63%. He's a good quarterback. Give him a little time. He's only in his 4th year. He's taking more heat, guys, than Cutler took in 8 years. I'm not kidding you, from the press.
Oh, you're part of it. You know more than anyone.
Oh, I gave it to Cutler, but the people that gave it to Cutler, that he deserved to get it. He made one playoff game. You could put those people in a phone booth, me and a couple, and there'd be room for a dance floor. That's how there were so few people that would give him. He had a honeymoon year. He really did, and $118 million.
Yeesh.
Wow. And look at the return. Nada.
So we got Houston, moneyline pick, Texans. Yeah. The Miami moneyline pick. All right, this is mine. Mike, I don't think you're going to like this one just from the way you've been reacting to my picks.
I love your picks.
Last week, last week, the Seahawks looked phenomenal. But you know who doesn't beat the Patriots? Pete Carroll cannot beat
I
the
like that
Patriots.
pick. New England +4.
New England +4, and New England wins the game. Cam Newton does it on the ground and through the air this week. Patriots start 2-0, and the Bills start getting worried because it was supposed to be a cakewalk for them this year. I'm getting so excited over here. It's supposed to be a cakewalk for the Bills. Patriots win this week, start 2-0, and get ready because they're winning that division.
Yeah, it's a terrific pick. And, you know, the over-under for the Patriots, think about this, guys. They lose Gronk. They lose Brady. They lose 3 guys on defense. And their over-under, their total for the season was 9.5. Like, wow. They lost superstars. And, I mean, 9.5, it's almost 10. So I think it's an indictment against the rest of the teams in that division, but also it shows people that Belichick and his guys can coach because Newton is running a completely different offense than Brady.
I would say you saw how Belichick used Newton last week, and it was incredible. It was perfect, exactly how you want to use
Great coach.
Great coach. All right, Jack, start us off. You haven't given us a pick in a couple minutes. Let's hear your triple threat NFL parlay.
All right, well, you guys aren't going to like one of these picks in it, but it's – so first one is the Seahawks winning over the Patriots. I know you guys don't like that. I think they at least win the game. I think it's going to be a close one. I think they win, though.
We're warning you not to do this. We're friends. We're trying to warn you. It's like an intervention for an alcoholic. Don't please, you know, we're trying to help you, but you're going to take that.
Hey, I have to. I think Russell Wilson is the second best quarterback.
I love him.
Honestly, you give me one guy. You have one guy that I got to give the ball to less than 2 minutes in the game. It's Russell Wilson. I don't care about Mahomes, how great he is. I know Rodgers has done in the past. I think right now Russell Wilson's that guy. I trust him over Cam in a close game in the fourth quarter.
I agree.
So
He's a great quarterback.
Oh, he's amazing. And
I saw him at Wisconsin. He goes to Wisconsin for 1 year, becomes like a stud. He was a stud at North Carolina. So.
Yeah. No, I that's coming from a Niner fan who just – it's honestly, I've just seen him beat the crap out of the Niners and piss me off so damn much. I respect him at this point. But I do think they beat the Patriots. Next one is I got the Bills over the Dolphins. Don't think about it too much. I think that's an easy one. I don't see the Dolphins with Ryan Fitzpatrick doing anything to Josh Allen, the Bills, and that defense. And then I got, like we were saying earlier, I like the Cowboys over the Falcons. It's a good bounce-back game for them. That parlay is plus 220 odds, which is pretty good for 3 favorites, I would say. I think, like you guys said, I think the sneaky one that could kind of bite me in the ass is the Seahawks. But I really like that. For plus 220, too, I'll take it.
Good value. Three overdogs, 3 favorites. I got a similar style parlay. All money line for me. But I'm going Cowboys. I'm taking the Packers, who last week I said put your entire mortgage on. Mm-hmm. And they covered in dramatic fashion. They were just dominant on offense. Defense didn't look like the defense of last year, but whatever. And then I got the Rams. So I got Rams, Packers, Cowboys, 3 favorite moneyline parlay. The value is plus 282. Some good value there. If you're a low bettor, like guys that are going to throw like $5 to $20 trying to get good value on the money line or on the parlays, this is the one to take. Cowboys, Packers, Rams plus 280.
Rams guy.
I like to take my parlays with the points, but if you guys want the money, like you guys are greedy.
Oh, you do you. You do you.
You do you.
I know you guys are very greedy, though. You want it all. I mean, you want to put 10 cents down and win $300. I get it all.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's Rams Eagles this week, by the way. Rams Eagles.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's a pick a game, right? That game. Rams Eagles.
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, take it 1 -1. Pick it, something like that. But if I had to pick a 3-team parlay with points, I'm taking Washington plus 6.5 against Arizona. Although that kid Murray, I didn't think much of him until I watched him last week. The kid is phenomenal. I like Washington getting 6.5 points. I like my Denver Broncos getting 7.5. And I like the Cleveland Browns -6 going up against Joe Burrow, getting 6. I think they wanted their first game really bad, Cincinnati. You saw the push-off by A.J. Green. He did push off. I think that's a tough injury for a young football team, a young coaching staff to bounce back from, especially now they're playing their rival, and Baker Mayfield is already hearing the nonsense in the Boo Bird. So I like that team too.
Mike, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Does it bother you that you could potentially have to wait for the results of your parlay from Thursday all the way to Sunday night?
Yeah, because you know what? I waited all week to bet the Giants on Monday. You know, that was one of my main picks. And I thought I had it dead to rights. I thought I had that over dead to rights. And it was just one of those games. But you know what? I felt good about the pick. But yeah, I mean, if you go 0-1 on your other picks, because we made 3 picks, and then you wait till Monday, that is a slow torture. It really, really is.
Absolutely.
Especially when you lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, those are all our picks. We're telling you that they're all locks. We just sat here for about probably close to 40 minutes just talking gambling.
Yeah.
I would say advice, picks, or I said it backwards. Picks, advice, and everything nice. That's what you're going to get here on the Zedia Network Football Gambling Show. Mike North, absolute legend, joining us. Jack Parodi, thanks for coming on. Any last words, either of you guys, before I throw our money?
I appreciate you guys having me on. I love the numbers game. Money management's a big thing. I've won the last 4 years, and sometimes 2 years ago I went 18-1 and one of my best picks the first 5 weeks. Nobody's ever done that before. But you know what? This past week, and last year I started out 5-2 the first week. This week I got I started out like 1-3. So you know, it's a different year. They're in the bubble. They're not in the bubble, but they're playing without people. There's emotion that's not involved in the game. Referees don't get shook up. You know what I mean? By fans. So just money management, play it light. Don't blow your load early. Don't premature. Don't have a premature ejaculation of money, and enjoy your season, at least until the 7th week when you'll have to ask the wife or your mother for some money.
All right, you heard it here. Mike North, some words of wisdom. We'll see you guys next week after we're alive.
Thanks, guy. Woo!